what are the top 10 things that I miss about cruising? You guys all know from my last couple of videos that I have been planning an upcoming bucket list cruise. And during this planning and researching and diving into everything that was going on, I really started to reminisce and think back to before this forced almost 3-year hiatus from cruising. And it really started to bring back some memories of the things that I miss about being on a cruise ship or a cruise vacation. So I thought that it would make a good video for me to kind of dive back in and share my list of the top 10 things and maybe one that I don't miss as we get to the end of this video. So you'll have to stay tuned all the way to the end to find out the one thing that I don't miss about cruising. Again, I'm Joe, and I'm just out exploring. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's jump right into it. So what are, again, the top 10 things that I miss about cruising? The first thing that I miss about cruise vacations is waking up in new destinations throughout the trip. I just love exploring. That's why I named my channel Just Out Exploring. And what better way to explore new destinations than waking up somewhere new every couple of days while you're on your cruise vacation? One day you're waking up in the Bahamas. The next day you could be waking up in Mexico or the Virgin Islands or the Southern Caribbean, and it's just such an easy and convenient and fun way to explore different destinations. It's so much less stressful than getting out there and jumping in going on an airplane and getting in the line and going through security every couple of days or repacking and unpacking, and it makes the experience of checking out new destinations so much less stressful and so much more fun. You fall asleep in one spot in the middle of the ocean, and you wake up the next day, jump off the ship, and do as little or as much as you want in each of the destinations that you arrive at. The second thing that I miss about cruising, not having to cook or clean for a week, or however long your cruise vacation is. Not really much to say about this. But, I've taken vacations where I go to visit family or we've rented a condo for a week or go to Disney for a week or whatever you end up doing. And it seems like there's always some sort of cooking or cleaning or tidying up or just whatever you need to do. Then you're not really escaping from that. But, man, when you get on a cruise ship and you're getting part of that cruise vacation, oh, boy, does that go away. Your room is cleaned twice a day. You are, you're pampered. Your bed is made. You don't have to worry about cooking. You don't even have to worry about cleaning your cabin. It's just a vacation away from everything, and I miss that. The third thing I miss about cruising is not having to agree on what kind of food or where you're going to eat. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but when I took a trip to Hawaii, I remember the first night there, it was like, okay, what are we going to eat? Well, which restaurant do we want to go to? Are we really going to spend $60 on some pizza? And do you want pizza or do you want tacos or what do you want? And I just remember thinking to myself, man, I wish I was on a cruise right now. Doesn't matter what you want. Doesn't matter what your friends want. Doesn't matter what your family wants. Whatever you want, whatever they want, you can get it. There's just about limitless opportunities to grab food on a cruise ship. You can get, if you want tacos and your friends want pizza, have at it. You want barbecue, your friend want noodles or sushi, no problem, grab it. You want a fancy steak dinner, but your friends don't want to dress up that night, go for it. Have the steakhouse, one go to the buffet. It's easy peasy. And I just really miss that about cruising. The fourth thing that I miss about cruising is walking back onto the ship after a long day ashore. And man, is that just a feeling that I can't replicate anywhere. Don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about being on a cruise ship that offers just such a different experience when you return to the ship. There's a feeling of the AC blowing in your face when you walk in, the slight hum of a cruise ship. And if you've been on a cruise, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That hum, it's relaxing. After you're done, you get back to your cabin and you've had the sun beating down on your face and your shoulders all day. There's just something I don't know, refreshing or relaxing or rejuvenating about jumping in your cruise ship, shower, getting dressed, and then not really having to go anywhere else, but go grab a bite or go play some trivia or just go sit in a lounge and people watch. There's just something different about having spent that entire long day in the sun and then being back on that ship. And speaking of that, that brings me to the fifth thing that I miss about cruising. And this one is simple. I miss the ding that the cruise ship makes when you walk back on that ship. That noise is just so iconic. It doesn't happen anywhere else. When you're on a Disney vacation, yeah, your Magic Band might ding as you walk into Disney World. There is nothing like that sound as you walk back onto a cruise ship. Well, we're about halfway through with my list now, so I was hoping that you guys would let me know some of your ideas in the comments down below of the things that you miss about cruising or that you've recently experienced on a cruise and you were so glad that you got to experience them again. I'm curious to see what everybody thinks. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about my list so far and what you'll think about the rest of my list, but I'm also curious to see what things I might have missed or what things that you just specifically miss about cruising. It's so specific to everyone, and there's just so much to experience and so many different feelings that everybody gets from being on a cruise, so I look forward to reading your guys' comments down below. The next thing, the sixth thing that I miss about cruising is sitting on my balcony with the ocean as my view instead of the busy street that I see when I look outside my apartment window. And man, what a difference. I am riddled with sirens, motorcycles, loud trucks. There's nothing peaceful about being on my balcony. So when I get on a cruise vacation, I love it. I love looking out the ocean. I love hear the waves crash by. I love the nights when there's a thunderstorm off the side of the ship and you can't hear it. You're not having some rain, but you just see the flashes way off in the distance. And there's just something relaxing about that. You know, I recently stayed at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, and that's going to come out in one of my videos soon as I recap that Disney trip. But even that, looking out the balcony and seeing the animals there, just wasn't the same. It just was not the same as being on a cruise ship. And that's something that I miss about cruise vacations. The next thing that I miss, the seventh thing that I miss about cruise vacations is the non-stop activities. And wow, do you just have the gamut of whatever you want to do? And you could do as many or as little as you want. And it's the best. It's the best thing to be able to be on a cruise ship and just choose what you want to do whenever you want to do it. Bingo, trivia, lectures, sports decks, and it all depends on the cruise line that you choose. You know, one thing I love about Royal Caribbean is being able to go on there and hustle that flow rider and do some body surfing or some boogie boarding, I should say, not body surfing. It would be nice if you could, but or doing some rock climbing, or if you're jumping on a Carnival ship, you can go do a ropes course, or you know, if you're now, I guess, on a Norwegian cruise line, if you want to go do some go-kart racing, have at it. Go do some go-kart racing, and there's just so many activities to do on a cruise ship, many of which are included. Some are extra, but you know, you're going to pay extra for some of this stuff on land anyway, and it's just nice to be able to have that without having to jump in a car and drive and sit at stoplights and you know, and then, you know, wake up to the hustle and bustle of the same grind the next day. I mean, this is just as part of a vacation, and it's like the perfect icing on the cake. The next thing that I miss about cruise vacations is the embarkation day excitement. Man, there is nothing like that. I remember back to, you know, my first cruise was in like 1992, and it was on Royal Caribbean's Viking Serenade. And I can remember all the way back to that, walking on that ship and just going, wow. And that thing was tiny, and it was going from LA to Catalina to Ensenada and back. And I was on there with a band, with my band from school, and we had a blast. And I remember in the night being out on the bow of the ship and looking down and seeing dolphins like cruising through the wake that the ship was making. And I remember all of that stuff. But you know, then I fast forward till 16 years later, which was my next cruise, which was 2008 on Liberty of the Seas. And I just remember walking on that ship and walking into the promenade and just going, oh, I'm home. I'm here. I made it. And there's just that feeling of freedom, especially if you're traveling, you know, if you live in LA or in California like I do. I live in the Bay Area, and you're traveling to Miami to jump on a cruise ship. There's a lot of stress in getting there. You got plane rides and taxis and shuttles and hotels, and depending on how many days you get there early or if you get there the day of, you got just stress after stress after stress after stress. And it's, that's part of the vacation. And in my opinion, it's all worth it. But the moment when you walk on that ship and you're just blown away by the decor or the grandeur of it, or the music or the smiles or the energy, that just means you made it. You made it. You're on vacation. Stop worrying. Start having fun. And that feeling is just second to none. The ninth thing that I miss about being on a cruise vacation on a cruise ship is the live music that happens almost nonstop. I love live music. One of my favorite things to do when I'm at home is to find where there's a band playing, hopefully outside, and just go sit and listen. And, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday during the winter, there's lots of times where you can't find that. You got to go, if you want it, you got to go to a club, you got to go to a bar, you got to go inside, a lot of different things. And that's just not my jam. I like to listen to music outside. I like, I guess I shouldn't say in a bar or a club, but it's just a little different when you're on a cruise. It just hits you a little different when you're on a cruise ship. But to start it at the pool deck with the band, with the island music, maybe continue in the evening at a rock club and just hear a good cover band. And, it just something that I miss is just being able to hear that live music whenever I want to hear that live music. And that's just something that I really miss. And the 10th and final thing that I miss about cruising, and yes, this is very specific to one cruise line, it's the Comox sandwiches. Man, do I miss those sandwiches. Being able to roll up into the Central Park Cafe and have one of those sandwiches whenever I want, when that place is open, that's my dream. That's my dream. I love it. I love it right there. And if you know, those things are amazing. So I told you there would be one bonus thing about something that I don't miss about cruising. And so we've gone 3 years now. And something I don't miss about cruising? It's not being on that cruise ship. I don't miss that at all. I miss it more than anything. I can't wait. 125 days to go as you watch this video. We're on August 27th. I'll be flying, I'll be hitting that Odyssey of the Seas for my New Year's cruise. If you've watched my last video, which I will link at the end of this video, telling you about how I came to that decision, you guys are going to join along on my planning as we go along. So thanks for taking the time to watch today. Again, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you like this comment, give me a thumbs up, like this video. And again, in your comments, leave me. What did you think about my list? Was it dumb? Was it smart? Did I miss a bunch of stuff? And just give me your impressions. Okay, thanks, guys.